Well, as we get ourselves ready to begin with today's official launch, just a small favor from our guests. I'm asking if we could take about 5 steps forward. Just 5. We'll work with 5 for now. You can stay, you're in a good spot right there. You reach. Yes. Come in a little bit, my friends. We have some cocktail tables. We want you to gather close so that you could really embrace the information on hand and get a true understanding as to today's assignment and the purpose and the role and function of the team. That's right. Yeah, man, we could come a little closer, man. We have some tables to the front. Step into the light, as we say. Yes. That's right. Mr. Roach, good to see you. Pleasure, pleasure. Yeah, man, we're looking good. Before we officially kick things off, a sincere thanks for all in attendance. We know that many are extremely busy, and we appreciate your presence. You could have been anywhere this evening, but you chose to be part of our launch, and we, again, give thanks. Let me, of course, acknowledge the presence of our director, of course, our chairman, our CEO, of course, all our partners, stakeholders, colleagues from the media. We want to make sure we get this on our front page tomorrow, right, guys? So, yeah, nice. And, of course, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get some perspective in a few as to the purpose and the reason for our presence. But let me just give a quick overview as we get to understand the WiLoan story. Now, WiLoan emerged 4 years ago in response to the financial difficulties many faced during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in response to this challenge, a strategic alliance was formed with the National Trade Union Center, NATUC, the umbrella organization that represents 6 unions and over 50,000 employees. Now, WiLoan is a pioneering AI-powered lending platform designed to transform access to credit in the Caribbean. And during the course of this evening, we will get a deeper understanding as to the role, the function, and of course the logistics, the actual working plan. So, with no further delay, we want to again welcome everyone, and let's embrace some remarks at this point in time from the director of WiLoan. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. John Molontial, who will share with us a deeper perspective as to today's official rollout. Let's put our hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready. 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 We're ready.
Don't cut the music yet.
Yeah,
wow, that mic is powerful.
Ready. Ready.
We ready for WiLoan. You can cut the music now. We ready for the WiLoan. A couple of weeks ago, we were ready for the road, right? And on April 28th, we were ready to vote, but we're not talking politics tonight, right? Some of you in the back, I'd like you all to come forward a little bit, please. Yeah? Come up a little bit, man. Lots of room in the front, nice and breezy. So I'm John Molenthiel, a director on the board of WiLoan. Some of you I know, some of you I'm meeting for the first time, I've seen for the first time. So welcome. Glad that you can make it. My role tonight is very simple. I want to talk a little bit about the technology that underpins WiLoan. So I'm going to pop the bonnet and talk to you about the technology stack that WiLoan is built on. So let's start with know your customer. Digital onboarding. From the get-go, once you sign up, the process is all online, the process is all digital, and you have access to an entire ecosystem of services, financial services. That process is quick and it's easy. Let's talk compliance. Once you've signed on to that digital platform and you've uploaded proof of life is your life, You never have to come and see me. You can do this on your phone, right? Proof of life, proof of address, proof of ID, simple things. We are going to check you out. What does that mean? Compliance, FIU, the central bank, all the buzz now is about AML and has been and counter financing of terrorism, right? So we're going to check you out. I'm not giving kudos to any particular third party that we play with. But if you comply, advantage is yours. For those of you in the know, those two words may mean something. What that means is we're going to run your name against a couple popular checklists. FBI Most Wanted, His Majesty's Treasury Watch List, ISIL, Al-Qaeda Watch List, and one of my favorites, Office of Financial Assets Control, OFAC, which is also the response if your name is on the list, right? We let that marinate, right? There are basically 1,200 different watch lists and sanctions lists that we run you through. And that's to make sure that we're only dealing with legitimate persons. And then lastly, and this is the technology stack, as I said, upon which WiLoan is built. Disbursement of funds. We can move money from any bank account or to any local bank account. So we are bank agnostic. We can also put funds onto a card. So understand what we're saying here. You sign up, you run it through the database, you're good to go. You go through the process, you're approved, and funds are deposited straight into your bank account or to a card, because a bank account is not a requirement. So if you're talking about inclusion, having a bank account is not a requirement, right? Now, unknown to you all, we ran your names through the database, right? That's a complete lie. Thank you very much, right? I did see a couple of y'all cringe a little bit, right? A couple of y'all were kind of cringing, I can't lie to you. You're like, oh, fuck, right? So, right, I just want to say thank you, right? But rest assured, WiLoan sits on top of a very proven and a very robust technology stack. You're going to hear a little bit more about WiLoan itself, but what I wanted to give you was a bit of the foundation that you can feel confident and comfortable that we know what we're doing. Yes? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And again, just to get a little idea, a little perspective, we continue to tell the story of WiLoan and John. We thank you so much again. A man who was able to bring some insight into the broader technology, the ecosystem from the perspective of the cutting edge technology, the customer onboarding, and the inclusion that you just mentioned. Thank you so much. So let's continue as we bring to the lectern. And again, just a few in terms of the formalities after, of course, we get a chance to network some more and advance the conversation. Now, this is all part of what we could clearly see in real time as a digital revolution, and WePay is indeed leading the way. We want to introduce our next speaker, the chairman of WiLoan. Now, he will give a deeper perspective into the overall lending space and how WiLoan expects to transform the landscape through technology, accessibility, responsible lending, and leadership. Let's give a warm welcome and bring to you the chairman of WiLoan, Ashley Taylor.
Spirit Mass. Thank you, Jason. So, in the sphere of technology, no paper, tablet. So I'll just give as Jason said, I'll give a very high-level overview of the lending space, and then I would dovetail into where we are in Trinidad and Tobago as far as lending and credit is concerned. So just indulge me a little bit if I go through a more or less formalized type process as I deliver to you, as I said, where we see WiLoan heading in the future. So for centuries, societies have depended on lending for personal needs and business growth and development. In earlier times, the majority of these needs were addressed through the informal sector and the minority through the formal means such as banks or regulated financial institutions. In more recent times, however, the mix was reversed, with the majority of the lending taking place through the formal or regulated sector. What remained a constant, however, is that significant pockets of society with lesser financial means who are unable to obtain credit continue to seek financing through unregulated avenues. Today, these segments of society are generally referred to as the unbanked or underbanked. A large section of this grouping was subjected to unusually high interest rates from unlicensed or predatory lenders, which ultimately propelled some of these borrowers into a seemingly never-ending debt spiral. Recognizing the effect of these types of loans in stymieing personal, small business, and societal growth, many multilateral agencies with international reach and localized type NGOs created initiatives to promote responsible lending and borrowing. These gained substantial tractions initially in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, but remain wholly insufficient to address the demands of the lower to middle class segments of the population. In developed countries such as the US and I say developed in inverted commas, the underbanked in society depended on the more regulated type system. This did not prohibit exorbitant interest rates from being levied by what has been popularly known as payday loan companies or private microfinance institutions. The Global Inclusion Database 2021, compiled by the World Bank, showed that 76.2% of the global population was having access to financial services. This was up from 68.5% in 2017. The last time the report was compiled prior to 2021. Trinidad and Tobago was not assessed in 2021, but showed a penetration rate of 80.78% in 2017, representing a country rank of 46 out of 145 countries. The top 20 countries in comparison had penetration rates of at least 95%. In the Caribbean, micro and small loans serve as the critical financial aid for small entrepreneurs such as those in the agricultural, tourism, and retail trade. Despite this, many challenges exist. However, due to the significant numbers of unbanked, the inability to access credits, or the high cost of credit due to the market size and inherent risk factors. In fact, a survey conducted by the Trinidad and Tobago International Finance Center, the TTIFC, United Nations Capital Development Fund, UNCDF, in 2024, noted that approximately 25% of the country's population lacked access to a basic transaction account. This most recent statistic further underscores the need for Trinidad and Tobago to establish a sustainable ecosystem for access to affordable credit. With one of our key taglines, "Good credit is life," we truly recognize that the inability to access credit, or conversely, the ability to access it can permanently alter the course of someone's life. Within the last 8 years, at least 4 major players have emerged, and they have had a significant impact on the overall micro-lending environment by making these types of loans more mainstream and accessible. Despite this, there still continues to be a portion of the market who are unserved or underserved for various reasons, including accessibility, speed, and service delivery. Statistics show that small amounts of capital can yield significant economic and social impacts. However, for the industry to thrive, governments, financial institutions, and fintech players must collaborate to, one, expand financial literacy programs to ensure responsible borrowing and repayment. Two, leverage digital solutions to increase access to microloans. Three, develop supportive regulatory frameworks that encourage microfinance growth while managing risk. The regulatory landscape for microloans in the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago is characterized by a mix of established frameworks and areas needing development or improvement. Harmonizing regulations and considering the unique nature of microfinance and ensuring that oversight mechanisms do not hinder the growth of lending institutions are crucial steps towards enhancing financial inclusion and supporting economic development and financial health of citizens. One area that does not seem to get a lot of attention is the issue of loan defaults in the micro-lending sector. In some countries, default rates go as high as 40%, with debtors often having to roll over payments, resulting in the previously mentioned debt trap. Informal statistics for the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago suggest average default rates of 10% among authorized microlenders. Even though on the surface this may seem low, given the high cost of capital, this is not a sustainable rate for any company that's legitimately in the business. We at WiLoan fully expect significant changes in the statutory and legal requirements within the medium term to bring all, and we say all, forms of lending under stricter regulatory control for the protection of consumers, as well as to reduce the risk of fraud and financial impropriety. We have therefore been forward-thinking in our governance and operating frameworks. Hence, for example, our second-to-none onboarding process. We anticipate that our new WiLoan product to evolve and transform the lending landscape by not only making credit more accessible through technology, but making this access faster, more convenient, and efficient while employing a compliance and a risk-based back-end. A key component of our approach is to implement financial literacy programs by promoting not only responsible borrowing, but also responsible saving and spending. These structures and systems to be deployed will play a key mitigating role in keeping defaults well below industry standards and best practice. The right leadership is critical in realizing our vision for the future. In furtherance of this, we took the strategic decision to bring on board Mr. Liron Malo, our next speaker, as our very first Chief Executive Officer. Liron has a proven track record of excellence with over 18 years' experience in the banking, finance, and insurance sectors. With this type of leadership in place, our growth plans include regional expansions in the medium term into other countries such as Jamaica, Guyana, and Barbados. We are truly enthusiastic about the future, and we invite you to join us in this new and exciting journey. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. It's time to party.
We deserve a party, right? Nice. Thank you so much again to you, Ashley Taylor, for giving us some perspective. Again, exploring the transformation, the landscape, again, the technology, the accessibility, as we continue to lead in that regard. Now, as mentioned, The man of the moment will join us next. Lyron Marlowe, as mentioned, 18 years in finance, banking, and insurance, and the ideal person to drive this type of innovation that WiLoan will be bringing to the market. So during his presentation, he will give us an idea as to the market solutions and the product offerings, from the personal loans to the hire purchase solutions to the government employee solutions, the salary advance and payday loans, and of course he will end things off with a video demonstration. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome the CEO of WiLoan, Mr. Lyron Marlowe.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I now understand what Marshall Montano feels like coming in to close the show. But no pressure. I really want to thank every single one of you coming out here this evening. My job is simple. The WiLoan product is an excellent one. It's the first one that you're going to see in the market. And we are going to be the leaders without a doubt. Now, I heard some 18 years experience banking and finance and all of these good stuff. But I have to say that I stand here with you today with a mix of excitement and deep reflection. Because for nearly 2 years, my career in financial services revolved around watchwords being loan structuring. I have a bank partner here. He knows what I'm talking about. Jeremy. Credit ratings, debt servicing capability, and margin value collateral coverage. Chris Aline. These are the watchwords. Yes, it may be complex, but to a banker, these are the watchwords. These are the things that you must have. In our world today, most times the ideal client is an established entity. Those with capital, those with resources, and those who fit neatly into a rigid structure of lending. But I ask you this evening one thing, or maybe a couple of things. What about everybody else? What about those who don't fit into those structures? What about those who just miss the mark? I'll give you a few examples. What about the person who would have lost their job and for no fault of theirs, their credit rating not where it's supposed to be? What about the young entrepreneur driven by passion, driven by innovation, but he doesn't have the cash reserves to inject into this business idea that he has? What about the individual who faces a medical emergency or an urgent expense? They just simply can't wait weeks and months for an approval. Yes, everyone here, and we all know, these are real scenarios that real people face. My friends, for too long, the financial services industry has failed to provide real, practical solutions for these individuals. And I was one of them. Instead, we prioritize structure over solutions and risk metrics over real needs. Alexander Hamilton would have said once upon a time, credit is a fundamental social invention that helps people like you and me to turn the ideas of the small man into reality. At WiLoan, we believe that good credit is life. And this is because when you have access to credit, you have access to possibilities. Yes, cash as you need it, right from the comfort of your phone, anytime, anywhere. Today, my friends, therefore, marks a significant milestone, not just for WiLoan, but for every single individual in the Caribbean. Ashley would have spoken about it. If you face barriers or have faced barriers to receiving timely financial support, and I'll just tell you some of the barriers. And tell me if I'm right or wrong. Extensive documentation requirements. Doesn't that sound familiar? Complex approval processes. Slow and lengthy disbursement timelines. Yes, all real challenges and unnecessary roadblocks for people who need quick and reliable financial assistance. At WiLoan, I want to remind you a couple of things. We are imagining or reimagining lending, breaking barriers to empower, include, uplift, and to ensure that those who are overlooked or were overlooked have a voice. Our commitment is clear. No more long waits, no more endless paperwork, just real solutions on time. How are we going to do this? I'll quickly tell you. We've implemented streamlined internal mandates and quality assurance reviews. Our credit evaluation process uses technology designed for ease of use, speed, precision, and to ensure all applications are assessed promptly and accurately. Our dedicated customer support is trained to help all borrowers to navigate the process, minimize delays, and avoid incomplete applications. And finally, via our strategic stakeholder partnerships, our AI development team work closely together to accelerate approvals and ensure seamless disbursements. Ladies and gentlemen, my role as a CEO is to ensure that everything that I just spoke about, these obligations are not just things on a piece of paper, but instead we stay committed to ensuring access to credit is smarter, faster, and more inclusive. These are our watchwords. Financial solutions is at the core of what we do. So I'm going to segue a bit now to tell you about our partner employees and what we do for these persons. A structured, hassle-free way to assist your employees during financial hardships. Many of you are entrepreneurs, many of you are self-employed. I'm sure you've had a scenario where an employee would have come to you for a loan. I have a funny story to share. A colleague of mine, an employer stakeholder, he said, yes, I do get employees coming to me for loans. And he said, you know what? I decline it every single time. I said, but why would you do that? Employees need these loans, they come to you. He said, yes, while I appreciate that and I understand that, if I give these loans, these employees will think the company has money in reserve, coffers of money. And if they have coffers of money, what they want next? An increase on their salaries, exactly that. So I told him, buddy, don't worry yourself, WiLoan has you covered. But studies show that financial support can enhance employee morale, retention, and productivity. We also offer to our partner employers seamless support. This is on the administrative side. We take the burden off of your admin officers and off of your HR personnel to manage loan applications, approvals, disbursements, and repayment tracking efficiently. Remember one thing when you leave here today is that we take all the risk. WiLoan assumes full responsibility for credit exposure, protecting employers from any financial losses. We also have solutions designed specifically for businesses. So some of you in here may have, or may be a retailer with very high value items. We have a solution for you. That's our hire purchase solution. Helping organizations like yourself offer your customers access to financing for your high-value products and services. We also have salary advance and payday type solutions, which give your employees quick access to funds. We all know there are situations where an employee may be fortnightly employed, and after week 1, they need an injection. They can come to us to solve that problem. We recognize that financial needs are diverse and ever-changing. That's why our solutions are also designed to deliver emergency financial relief, quick access to funds for unexpected expenses like medical bills or urgent home repairs, personal expenses, whether it's tuition, a wedding, or a well-deserved vacation, or even you just want some money for carnival. Unforeseen, behave guys, unforeseen expenses coverage, which acts as a lifeline for those facing sudden demands, such as funeral costs or urgent family needs. And then finally, we have a solution for our government employees, tailored financing for our public sector workers. Tight. All of what I just said is only beginning. The future of WiLoan is a bright one, backed by an experienced team, highly qualified stakeholders, and a secure borrowing base. WiLoan envisions becoming the leading microfinance provider in Trinidad and Tobago, and in time, expanding across the Caribbean. But we're not taking a one-size-fits-all approach. Instead, we will take a deep dive into each market we enter, ensuring our solutions align with specific borrowers and behaviors, regulatory requirements, and economic conditions of each territory. By doing so, we will assess sustainable and impactful lending solutions for individuals and businesses alike. Okay, so now I'm going to just share some informal stuff. Our journey was a very interesting one, and Ashley nicely touched on it. My career would have taken me through one of the largest insurance companies in the Caribbean and in Latin America. I have two of my colleagues and ex-co-workers here. Thank you for coming out, Christina and Christine. And three of the largest banks in Trinidad. But through this experience, I would say, I've always had one question, and bear with me, guys. How could we bridge the gap and bring meaningful financial solutions to an underserved market? Just keep that question in your mind. Our journey would have began with an idea, a mobile-first app, an interface conceptualized just about 4 years ago. Through collaboration with key stakeholders, we saw the opportunity to add real value to the wider lending space. Recognizing the potential to be a major player, we embarked on a journey of continuous development and refining our platform with insights gained from counterparts in the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, and research and development initiatives with trips to Miami, Los Angeles, and Money 20 Las Vegas. Today, I really want to say I am proud to represent WiLoan. Please indulge me with the following video presentation. Guys, as short as that video was, That's as short as the application process is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time and your attention, but I have to say this before I exit stage. WiLoan is here to revolutionize, to make sure and ensure that access to finance in the Caribbean is easy. Whether you're a customer, a business partner, or an advocate of financial inclusion, we invite all of you to join us. Because at WiLoan, good credit is life. Thank you.
I think we could definitely have a cheers to that, you know. Yes, yes. If you're holding something, let's get a hip hip. Hip hip hip. Accessibility, revolutionary. And by all means, we want to thank you, Mr. Marlowe, for by all means bringing this into a deeper understanding and perspective. Again, when we consider what's happening here, it is the chance for WiLoan to partner directly with employers to facilitate structured loans while encouraging financial responsibility. And in the same breath, bridging the financial gap. I want to invite our top speakers, all those who came forward to share with us the details, to probably join me, which will be my stage right, your stage left. I'm also going to invite members of the media, if any questions at this point in time you want to bring forward, or at least a songbite or interviews, we'll conduct it right here, close by to the nice backdrop. So we'll allow that process to take place. But again, thank you by all means for coming out, and let's spread the word and spread the message that WiLoan is here to stay. Congratulations again to the team. Well done.